Welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a program to compare tunes for similarity. And one of the things we haven't done so far is go through, there are a number of things called information fields that give kind of metadata about tunes. And we haven't gone through all those yet. So I wanted to pick up on those. And then once we have them, I'd like to be able to sort either by the count of them or by the name of them. And I don't think that'll be too hard. All right. So these info fields, I guess along the way we made this list, we don't support R, which is remark, and W is, I believe, lyrics. A and O, I think, are origin. F, I'm not sure, but it's a URL, so it's probably file name or something. And then notes. All right. Oh, we did N, it says. Okay. Well, we want to find out. All right. This table's from the ABC standard, and it tells us all these fields. Okay, we care some are in the tune header, some are in the body. That's fine. Okay, so F, well, there's A, B, C, D. Okay, we haven't done A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay, let's see what's up. Oh, welcome back. All right. So let's find them. I guess they're going to be in the parser stuff somewhere. Probably the top level one, which I don't remember. Maybe it's this. Oh yeah, there's some. Right. Okay. So these are fields that occur in the header. What are we doing? Well, we're ignoring A. We're ignoring F. Okay, we did get G. Let's see what we got there. Okay, well, we need A. Okay. And we got parse string field. Let's see what that's like. Okay, so it finds a character and it just grabs the rest of the line. Okay. And then appends the value that it finds. All right, so A is area, and it's deprecated. I think origin is the new way to say that. So this gives you, if you found a song in Bradford in Yorkshire in the UK, you'd put that. If it was in Chicago in Illinois in the United States, you could list those things. You might even go lower down, you know, I don't know if Bronx is considered a separate city, but right, it's all part of New York. It's a borough. So you might find even more levels in this thing. Okay, so I think we can do A and O together, and I don't know, they might. Let's go to the description here. Okay, it's hierarchical with semicolons. Old files used commas, but we're going to stick to semicolons. Especially it's for traditional tunes with no known composers. So, I mean, it's a bit of a joke, you know, but on the left-hand side of the river, they sing it this way, and on the right-hand side, they sing it that way, you know. So there definitely were, you know, especially in times before TV and radio and transportation ease, you know, things grew up differently in different areas. Okay, now we've got some provision for hierarchical stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tunes.put. Let's go see what this thing does. Puts a string in a value, which is a string. Okay, well, then we may not have to worry about the fact that it can be interpreted with semicolons. I don't think we have to. I've got ambitions to do that someday to make hierarchies out of these, but for now, if they just came in as strings, they would pretty much sort together, you know, if it was, you know, United States, all the United States would be together, all the ones in the same state, and then they'd go by city. That's acceptable to me. Okay, so I think my conclusion from that is A and O, we're just going to treat them as strings. Let's say that. Treat as string. And let's put this up here. I can turn this back on. Okay. All right. And backend tunes builder, no, ABC parser. Field name B, key is books. Okay, so that's the name it's under. In our case, I think O was origin is probably the best way to say it. Okay. And we'll need a test. ABC parser. Parser tests. I don't know if I can find B colon. There must be. Oh, there we go. Entry goes to metadata. Okay, so let's make an example with A and UK Yorkshire, and we expect I guess the title we expect is origin. Now, oh, okay, so we're looking up, right. String, expect. Oops, left out of print. Okay, so if you have an entry under A colon UK Yorkshire, we expect if you look up the origin, you should find it. Make sure that's right. So tune sub expect should match input 1. Okay. And that is the second half of that. Okay. Now, am I still 1, 2? No, I got too many there. Okay. All right, this test will fail, we hope. Okay, doesn't go, and we know why. Instead of ignore, we're going to do a parse string field. Field name is A, and the key is origin. Okay, let's run that. Okay. Good. And I think we can do O in the same test. I typed UK. Let's look for that. Oh, in this. Right. Origin. US. Nebraska, Omaha. And we expect to find that under the origin. Should fail. Not found, right? Okay. And same thing up here. Key is O. All right, and I think we'll take care of that little error from yesterday. Var adjustment. Right. We were being more complicated. Oh. Is that going to work? Oh, next node adjustment. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Should not have a problem with that. It was optional change. Well, I could probably say that's refactoring. All right. And that means we've done this. This month is almost over. This is under information fields, A&O path. And these were already done. Okay. All right. Now A and O, they are in the file header, tune header only. Information about the whole tune, but some of these are our rhythm can be in the body or the header. Okay, so let's take our first. This is a remark. It should fail. Okay, back in the parser. And, well, same thing is pretty much going to be right. It's R for remarks. Maybe I could leave that out. Remarks. Whoops. Okay. Oh. Well, I think in some ways I was expecting to do more with these, so I guess I put them off for that reason. But all right, now the second half of this one, this part is what do you do in the header, but there's also what do you do in the body. Now, I don't. let's take a look at that tunes.put. Oh, it adds it on there. Well, I don't think anything happens. Remark is kind of a, I don't know. It's not a real, I don't know. It's not a real event per se, but maybe we should make one. What else do we have coming in there? Meter, that stuff's all interesting. And notes. Yeah, so, all right, let me look at that put again. Put, builders.last.put. Oh, okay, it does append semicolon. That's what the instructions called for. So maybe we can do the same thing. Parse string field. Well, this is more like capture string field. I mean, yes, it parses it, but really the goal is capture it. Okay. And all it's doing is putting the value in. I think that might work there. So, however, it's not a string field. I think this is more like the case. Okay, like these, we add events, basically. But here, wait a minute, what did I just do? Really, I thought I renamed that. Oh, I did, capture. Yeah, okay. How soon we forget. All right, capture string field. That's going to save it. I think we can do the same thing here, but I got to figure out where we test that. Let's look for L colon. As a string. It's probably some test data somewhere. Yeah, there it is. ABC parser tests. Okay. Parse tune. Okay, yeah, we can do this. That's the tune header, that's the body. All right. Meter line, okay. Right. Let's say function test info fields in body. All right, now that's going to be somewhat like this. We can use this check thing. All right, so check takes an array, which I think we can get rid of that at least. All right, what's the array? It's some examples. Example, and then this is probably kind of close. I think we could probably go back to that L colon, the inline meter. Well, L colon maybe is more relevant. Well, okay, colon. We're checking those. Well, I guess this really is more relevant. I think we have parse tune. Let's see. Check. Okay, so tune, parse tune. All right. So if we have an example, well, this is where I got to blend it back in. Well, we use parse tune in here too. Okay. So the first part is the header section. We don't need that. And then the second part's the one we care about. Okay. All right. So if we have our body remark. Okay, let's make that a tuple. And expect, I guess we can expect remark again, remarks. Remarks, close this and that. Okay, now this is it quotes. All right, so generic primary input cannot be inferred, output cannot be inferred. I think that's because this maybe is, no, is that quite right? EG, oh, I didn't say EG. Okay, so we parse tune. We're just going to have this in line. So let's do, well, let's put it in a bar line, and then input. Oh, we need a bracket. Bracket. Input 0 is the letter, colon, and then input 1, which I guess is what I had, is the contents, and then we'll close the bracket. BC, and we expect if you look up remarks, you should see body remark, and that's the error message. All right, I think we should have a failing test. Two failures, okay. It seems that one I expected. What's the other failure? Found R. Okay, we weren't expecting it. Right, so we got an error message because we didn't recognize the R. And I think that's this, but we should be able to do exactly this again. I think. I guess I hope. Because we're past the main header, we're still trying to capture stuff about it. It's a little funny. All right. And run. Okay, I'm afraid that's the same two failures. All right, blank, so it did not get captured, and we still get an error about R colon. Huh. Okay, let's see what we got here. If line starts with this, all right, I think if line starts with X, that's one thing, right? Otherwise, ignore it, but that's okay. We're in the, okay, there's the tune header. Here's tune body. Okay, if body parser instruction is not nil, well, let's go to note line parser. Okay. Inline info field letters. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, so this list of letters are the letters that can be in the body. Okay, so IKLMM. Yeah, there we go. IKLMM and so on. Okay, and we do have capital R there. Let's find who uses this. Really? Why are you not complaining if you're not using that? I don't believe it. Uh-huh. All right. Okay, so this one, so it's saying I don't want to see these inline field letters because I'm matching bar lines, one or more of these characters. Right, but somebody else has to be looking for that bracket. Bracket instruction. Okay. Oh, okay, we don't have it. This is the parser. We've passed in a parser for it. He produces a thing. Oh, boy. All right, so we're not trying to produce events or anything else's. We're just trying to get a side effect done. Now, maybe we can do the side effect in here. I don't quite know. So capture string field. I mean, that's part of the parser. Well, obviously header parser and body parser are used somewhere. I'm tired of that error. Yeah. Okay, we're in tune body. If instruction is not nil, oh, okay. Okay, there's three things going on. Fun. Info fields in body. Let's see what they call that. Tune body. Okay. This one does not use brackets. It really is just a line. Okay, so it's appearing on a standalone line. Now this might pass. I believe it should pass. Okay. Don't know that it ran. Okay. Handle R field in tune body. Okay. Now, the other one. Okay. Let's get the other ones that are body, I guess. So what I would say is we handle R in header body, and then we need to do inline body. Okay. We have, okay. I'm going to leave that one. WW, what are they like? Well, let's do F. Let's try and do them alphabetically. Okay, F is easy. It's URL. Okay. And I think we're going to call it URL. It's only in the tune header, so it's going to be more of the first case. So string field tests. These are well, okay, they are string fields. All right, so F if you see a URL, we expect it to be under the category URL. This test should fail. And we're going to do this one up in the body, the header. Okay. FURL. In notes, I believe it's everywhere. He's a problem then. Okay, but we'll do it. So we need to do notes. Header, body, and inline. Okay, so let's do the header. Oh, we already did in. Okay. Let's do the body. I think we just called it notes. Yep. Okay, this one I don't know if we did or not. Apparently not. Okay. Capture string field N. Notes. Should be fine. All right. And I think what that makes, this is what we've done. Okay, I'll put some stars here just so we don't forget. Alrighty. And notes, string notes. Okay, W. Words is, oh good, header and body only. And W is words. It's also, well, they're both lyrics. Okay, so W is header and body. All right, this test, and I guess W was the same. Oh, W was body only. Okay. This is header. Lyrics. Okay. And that'll fail. Nope. Field name is W. Key is lyrics. Now it should pass. Okay, let's do both. W. Both should fail. Good. All right. This is lowercase w. Good. Should pass. We did those two. We actually captured those 4 lines too. Okay. Okay. This is handle lyrics W. Okay, this inline thing now, that's going to be a pain. Okay, these are the ones captured in the header. These are in the body. Now, some of these macros we're going to ignore. Yes, okay, I believe that. But the inline ones, I don't know if we can do a capture string field with it. Oh, that's next. Okay. I guess this body parser is, I mean, it really is local to this routine. But down in the bottom here, they call note line parser. And if there's a block, let's see, let's go there again. We must have it open. There it is. All right. If basically you have square bracket square bracket R colon and then some remark, that should be parsed by this inline field, but instruction doesn't match the ones we want. Okay, so key change. Well, the keys are complicated. Parser, it's got its own parser. Both all these have their own parser. Let's see. Now this parser, he gets past that parser. I almost feel like we can. Decorations, yeah, we ignore those. Well, if it's a K, an L, an M, okay, but we want to support R. And let's call that a remark. And we'll put in a parser for remark. And in this case, it can be like this, match R colon. No, match R and match colon and, well, it's basically the text up to a bracket. So I think we do not bracket. And if we say, but what are we capturing? We're not going to capture the R. We don't need it. We're not going to capture that. We do want to capture this stuff. And this is, I guess it's 0 more characters. And then we have the bracket. So we match things that aren't the bracket, and then we match up to the bracket. And we're consuming all these things. Okay. And then what are we going to do? Well, that's where I'm not so clear. I know we have to return. that. Okay, because it's looking for event meter changes. Okay. Sure. He's getting this character array. Okay. Power, parse, pipe. Any. Well, okay. I think that'll get us through that. It didn't know the type. We just had an empty array. So it's like, oh, it could be anything. All right. All right. So this will consume it and return nothing. All right. So let's add our test for that. See parser test. Oh, we don't have one in the body, in the inline. Okay. So let's do that. Test info fields inline in tune body. Okay, so we don't need n. Is that right? N? No, we do. Okay. LM instruction, we ignore key. Okay, we need M and, sorry, N, R, and little r. We didn't do little r. Okay, let me get back. Little r is remarks. Is that right? Big R is rhythm. Okay. Okay, so we messed something up here. These, we needed to do little r. We haven't done big R. Let's see where big R goes. Everywhere. Okay. Remarks, header, body, inline. Okay, we need to fix these tests then. This is little r remark. And this is little r remark. And I think we'll comment this out briefly here. Okay. Should fail. Oh. All right, let's just ignore it for a moment. How do you do that? Is it here? We'll disable this one. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay. Okay, so R fails here. It's got two failures. We should fail this one too. Okay, yes, good. All right, so back to the parser. Let's make this. All right, so R is still ignore because we haven't done it yet. This one is capture. Okay, that should pass. Well, 5 failures. Oh. Well, he's not actually ignored. Feels it body. Well, I thought I was on track here. Let's see. Stringfield tests are some random remark. Still failed. Or this is the header. Maybe become. Okay, lowercase r, some random remark, expect remarks. Yes. ABC parser test, body remark, expect remarks. Yes. ABC, oh. And this is why we have tests. Thank you. I'm not fast enough to read my comments. Yeah. Okay. At any rate, fix R equals remark. Had used capital R equals rhythm incorrectly. Okay. Okay, so now we have remarks, let's see, R, header, body, and not yet inline. Okay, that's true. I think we can do rhythm, header, body. Rhythm is just a comment. Well, sorry, it's just a string. It can be arbitrary text. This is a reel, this is a jig, that kind of thing. And it can appear in any of the three fields, or, well, four, but we don't care about the first. All right, so now let's put the ones I should have put, or, okay. So let's do capital R. It's a jig. And this is rhythm. It's kind of a weird name. I mean, you can tell they used the letters because they could pick a word that sounded right. I don't know. It's almost like, I mean, it is kind of a rhythm. If you say a jig, you get a certain rhythm. If you say a stress bay, you get another one. You know, just like in rock, if it's a 4/4 rock thing, you expect a certain thing. In a slow rock, you might expect something else. I don't know. Okay. We'll keep that word rhythm, but I don't know. If I found a better one, I'd use it. Okay, so let's do the same for the info fields. And maybe it's a slip jig. Or maybe an air, just to be different. Okay, so expect rhythm. And these should both fail. Good. Yeah, I guess we had it more or less there. I could have left it, I suppose. R. them. That whole line is probably duplicated down here. Yep. Our rhythm. All right, now, okay, there's rhythm, header and body. And we need to handle that too, and there, okay. Okay, now this next set of these, let's tackle them. Well, we need NR, we don't need W. I don't think. Words don't happen inline. So, instruction. Okay, so we need M, N, R, R, and we'll leave out V. Okay, NR. And this is a hornpipe. And it's a rhythm. And this is a remark and remarks. Okay. Now this time our input, I'm going to put it in brackets like this. And it can still have notes. Okay, so assert, and really we're still looking to make sure that it gets put in the tune information, the metadata for it. Okay, so this becomes R : hornpipe. I guess I should leave that out. All right, and good. And this test is currently disabled. And we're going to take them one at a time. Although they're pretty similar. All right. So we didn't find the thing and something else going on. No. I guess that's just pointing to these. Okay. This file and line number here is what lets us tag the line we actually care about up here. Okay, so N line. We know this is note line parser. Get it over here where we can work with it. I don't think we care about this helper. Okay, well, maybe I should do R first. And yeah, let's do remark first. Oh, hit run. Okay, that failed. And note line parser, this I want to match lowercase r. All right, so I'm matching it and basically consuming it and producing an empty list of results. I think I can write this differently. Let's try. Return event like that. Okay. Now what I want to do, I need to get access to this tunes thing that we updated those fields in the parser. Okay, so in here we do tunes.add, say. Let's see, tunes, Come on. They're coming in here, Tunes Builder. Okay. So let's go find, oh, there's tunes. Okay, so my conclusion is I want note line parser to get that information. All right, so note line parser down here. I think that's coming into us. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Right, internal var. Okay, so we're creating it. We don't create tunes yet. Okay, so I can't give that to that. Oh, note line parser. That's the one here. All right, so note line parser. So my choice is, well, really the right thing to do. Oh, this is tricky because the parser is capable of backtracking. There may be some situations where it has to, and you can't put arbitrary side effects in because when you back it, how are you going to? You're not going to be given the chance to undo them. All right. So what I think we may have to do. I mean, I think we may have to make this an event. I don't think I see a way around that. I mean, the parsing is designed to be a functional parser, functional in the functional programming language sense, that it takes inputs and outputs and has no side effects. Okay. And writing stuff into that tunes array would count as a side effect. So it's a bad idea on the surface of it. I don't have events for these sort of metadata things. Usually, well, we've had some. We had key change, unit length, and meter change. The song could start in 4/4 and switch to 3/4. And that shows up and we turn it into an event. Now, maybe what I should be doing, oh golly, well, it means I have to do more work later. Okay, we have this event to parts thing that once it converts it to events, it handles the events and it can do stuff with them. But I don't know. Well, let's see. It should create metadata too. Okay, it gets tune state and events. Okay, let's get to its kind of main. Okay. Parts of current particles measures. Oh, who calls this? Could change to be nomadic. Be a pair of previous result, current result. Well, I don't think so, really. I mean, it would be. So, are you saying the kind of parse sort of gives a before and after the backtracking, or maybe I'm missing what you're saying? Okay, so I'm going to look at Tune Builder. All right, so this is the thing. Yeah. Yeah, so kind of generalize the parser to allow the side effects. I yeah, you might be able to. Yeah, yeah. It would be kind of a change to the parser, which I mean, I created as a separate project, but I use it in other things too. Right now, it doesn't have that concept for sure. You can produce a result. I mean, let's go back to a parser thing. So in the parser, each of these parsers is allowed to produce a result. And okay, so cbind key. The key parser produces a key, which is sort of a domain object for us, I guess you'd say. And that's perfectly fine. Other ones produce streams of events is usually what happens for the note parser. I don't know if we can see the type of it. Well, we'll have to go to the class for it. But it produces a stream of events. Okay, so I guess in some sense, yeah, like what you're saying, we produce a previous event and a current result. That would kind of carry through enough information to let you backtrack as you went. So, I mean, I think in principle, I think you're right that managing both those would, when we throw away something from backtracking, we still have the previous results that we could return if we succeed so far, and then if somebody else throws it away, that previous result gets restored too. So yeah, I guess I agree. It probably could be made to work that way, and maybe even not changing the parser. That the fact is it's producing a thing, and if that thing is the pair you're talking about, then that could work. I think in this case, what I'm going to do is be more like these other things that, there was real, at least on this one, there's no ambiguity in like if you match this bracket R colon text right bracket, you definitely have matched it from that perspective, and I think it can produce that event. If it ever backtracked, that would get thrown away, but if it got successful, which usually it will, then that event can just go in the stream, and we have to go through the stream at some other point anyway. So I think I'm going to take that way out. But I mean, in principle, thinking it through with you, I think it would work to organize things that way, and you probably wouldn't even have to do it except in some major places where you could backtrack. Like the one that finds a key, it doesn't do any backtracking; it just finds it, and it's really the places where it backtracks that we'd have to add that extra pair. But I'm definitely going to keep that in mind for if I need it in the future and it shows up early enough. I think in our case, we're producing these events, and the reason is you can't fully interpret some things until you see the stream as it goes. So like the key change or the meter change I mentioned, started in 4/4, you switch to 3/4. That one is kind of okay. I mean, you match a measure of stuff, it doesn't care what's in it. But there's another one that says, what's the length of a note? And like it defaults to eighth notes. But if you change it to length as a quarter note, then all the following things get interpreted as quarter notes. So you have to do some kind of, you got to kind of carry that through. And rather than try and carry it through in the parsing side, I just said, okay, let's just create a stream, and then the full production of my musical state is going to require walking through that stream and doing some adjustments. And I don't know if you were in yesterday, but we did another one because there's this there's a notion of a dotted note that says, instead of going dun, 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 you go dun, 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 dun. And you turn it first note into a long note and the second note into a short note. Overall, they take the same time. And there was a symbol that would kind of affect the previous note and affect the following note, but there could be other stuff in the middle between them. And so we use that in the event stream to do it. So I think this kind of convinces me that I can do it that way again. And the thing that did it was Tunes Builder. Okay, he's the thing that manages that metadata, so that he has the put for the key and all that. He also tracks these unit note length and stuff, the ones that are more semantic. Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'm definitely taking an idea away. But where's event to parts? Parts, tune builder. Okay, that's for single tune. All right. Yeah, so this thing creates the metadata and then it calls event to parts to create the notes and whatever else, the musical structure. And that says I can probably pass the metadata in. Let's see what, maybe this will tell me. Produces metadata. Right. So I think I could pass, I pass it to tune. I think I could pass it to event to parts. That's not any kind of parser. That's just it's going through the event stream and there's some initial state that gets managed and that. I believe we can pass the metadata through to it and return that here too. Okay. But the first step is going to be getting this in the stream. All right, so this test down here, where'd it go? Getting too buried. This test. I think he should really be expecting a stream of events and should check that the event gets right. So what we're going to do is put it in the stream. We'll have to create a new type of event, put it in the stream, and make sure the stream is right, and then later on check that this event to parts thing produces the metadata, adjusts the metadata, I should say. Okay. Golly. It's weird to me. I don't know. It's weird we can do the other two first. The header and the body are kind of top level things, but I guess because this thing buries it inside, it really can't know that until it really reads through and finds the notes and all that stuff. Bracket is used for multiple things, so you can't just look for brackets. Yeah, it's just kind of a mess. It goes back to, I mean, it's sort of like if you compare Fortran, original Fortran had this very kind of ad hoc syntax. The one I remember that was the worst was if you wanted a string, you would put the count of letters, I think it was, and then the H, and then the actual letters. So if you wanted a 4-character string, I think it's 4H, ABCD. Okay. Nothing kind of standard parser about it. It's like, read this string of numbers, convert them to another number, make sure there's an H, and then actually use that number. You know, it's not just syntax, it's semantics in there too. And then compared to Pascal, had a much more grammar that was sort of in the formal grammar sense after, people learned how to write grammars, kind of the easy ways to parse them and stuff. And the two languages contrast from that there's these weird places in Fortran where they do things that just don't really fit the model of, reading forward one character at a time and doing it. This file is closer to Fortran's spirit. It's got stuff that can kind of occur anywhere. You can't disambiguate it until you actually interpret it and things like that. And we're kind of paying the price for that, the header and body field stuff, it's not totally simple table, but it's a table. It's got some captures and ignores, but basically it's a table of little parsers that can capture things. Yeah, and that's pretty straightforward. Same thing for the body. These are single lines that occur in the middle of the notes, and it knows what to do with one line. But when you get them inside the body, you got to interpret everything because anything can happen before you get to a bracket. I would love it if I could just skim through, find a bracket, make sure it had R colon or whatever in front of it, and do the rest, but it's not going to happen that way. Okay, so info fields. Well, we probably have a test that looks for events. Let's find event. Okay, expected events. All right. Expected node events. Okay, tune. TuneBuilder.make is a tune. I know we have other tests that are more at the level of events. It wouldn't be this one. Well, parse tune. Let's see what we're doing here. We're calling parse tune. Okay. Produces a tune. All in for small talk. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you have a language where the grammar fits on a page. I mean, the Lisp is kind of like that too. It's just like there's just not that much there syntactically to fight against. They've used very generic structures to let you do it. And Smalltalk, I mean, one of the things that gives them, they can do their debugger and all that stuff is kind of available at the language level for you because it's just not that many things going on. Gosh, what's the books? The Smalltalk books. Was it Smalltalk the language? Some of the books, oh gosh, I hope they mention them here. Smalltalk 80. This, I think they've open sourced this book. Yeah. Oh, well, you can borrow it anyway. Well, I guess I won't borrow it, but I feel like they maybe put it online for free reading. I guess I was surprised this is here. But it describes like how do you implement the whole thing, the parsing the language, and it turns these into these 25 different kinds of tokens and works from there. I mean, it's a great language to look at. Okay, yeah, you're into it. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's amazingly well done and interesting system. And I look at Swift. I mean, I'm enjoying working with it, but it's a huge language. I don't know if it's really like bigger than C++, but it's got a very large feel to it. A lot of pieces I've probably never used, maybe never will. The syntax isn't terrible. I mean, as far as like regularity, which is a good thing, but it's a lot more complicated than Smalltalk. Of course, Smalltalk was started on a much smaller system. Anyway, I think we're due for a break. We've been going a while, so we'll take a 3 or 4 minute break, and we'll come back and figure out a way to check the tunes coming in. I think maybe our test is okay if we had the whole thing together, because it's producing a tune, and a tune should have its grammar. Cancel. Try again. This one. Nope. Okay. Open tune. All right. So tune is the thing that has the metadata. So if they've built the tune completely for that test, we will have called our event to parts thing and all that. It will be there. We did something, the tune builder created the metadata and the parts, and we build this map somewhere. All right, so 3 or 4 minutes, we'll come back and tackle this test. All right, welcome back. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this test back on hold, and I think that's the right thing. Whoops. Right, disable it. So because we're doing a sequential thing where you fill in, you basically have the parser creates a stream of events that get turned into the tune object, the musical object. I'm going to pick up, I'm not going to start from the left side of that, the parser side. I'm going to start from the events and make sure we can turn those events into the right piece of the tune, and then go back and make sure the end-to-end with the parser works. So let's see, this should be disabled now. Oh, where'd that message? Right, I don't have to use the word return. It looks a little weird to me, but okay. So let's go over to event, and we're going to put a new kind of thing in. It's really metadata, and it's going to have a key and a value. Okay. Now this is going to break. Well, it's going to break debug description. So let's add that. Let key, let value. Okay, now there may be other places that use this thing. I think there's at least one, yeah. Okay, handle event. This is the piece that deals with all the different events that come in, and so we need to handle this metadata event. Well, for now we're going to ignore them, so we don't have to put that. So it's a metadata, and we don't care what comes with it. All right, and if we see that, we're just going to break. This is, nobody's using this yet, so there's no harm in it. Keywords. Yeah, I think I can do it like this. Okay, so test should run. Nobody should care that this new thing is here. Okay. All right. Now, the test we care about. Well, okay, let's go to event to parts. All right. So up till now, this thing has never needed to know metadata. But its make is going to give us both metadata and parts back. Okay, so let's pass that in. We won't do anything except pass it back. Just get that working. So it's kind of one of these refactorings that's making room. I'm passing a parameter I don't really need, but I will need it later. Okay, init events. I'm surprised that's not empty. Let's just take a peek why. It could be tests. Yep. Well, this has something too. Events. Okay, I guess I don't think that's going to matter. Okay, so if event to this passed in metadata, of type metadata. All right, now we should find anybody who calls it. Well, it's going to be these 8, 10, whatever they are, places, right? Okay. I was better off before. Is the find still there? Okay. All right, this thing has metadata, so let's pass it in. Now, everybody else, these things don't care about the metadata. So let's just blank it out for them. We will have tests that need it shortly. Okay, that should do it. Oh, this test failed, but we don't run it. Okay, so what we've done is we added a metadata event, and we pass metadata to event to parts. All right. Now, part 2 of that is I want make to return the metadata. Let's find Tune Builder. Who calls make? Well, I could let make just return the whole tune. Yeah, let's do that. Well, no. Let's return the parts of it. Okay, so I'm going to say, it's just hard for me to know the way I'm coupling things, but right now this thing doesn't care about tunes. He really just cares about parts. I'm going to make him care about metadata and parts. And so for the moment, let's just let him hold it. Okay, he holds it, and then at the end he returns it. Excuse me. All right, so Tune Builder needs to accept that back. Let's ignore it for the moment. All right, and then all those places are going to have to do that too. They truly don't care and won't care. Excuse me. It's hard for me to know if I'm making things worse in some way. But mostly these tests are around making sure, like our broken rhythm thing. Sorry. They're checking things about the note line parsing and, it created the stream of events for that. Did it properly pull the thing together and all that? So, yeah, okay. All right, again, this should all pass. Okay, and the one failed test was an ignored one. That's fine. Okay. Now, all right, so we have metadata in our event, and then we need to interpret it in event to parts. Right now we don't do anything, so let's start by testing this. Okay, so these are somewhat like we want to do. All right, so we want to check metadata events are put in metadata result. Okay. And if we just have an event, I don't think we have to care that much. Metadata. Let's put a key that's test key, and we'll put test value. All right, and that's the only one. All right, and now we're going to take metadata parts. We don't need the parts. We're not going to look at them. Okay, start with empty metadata, and then what we should find is that metadata dot bracket dot well, let's go look at our metadata. He might not be a real class yet. I can't remember. Oh yeah, he's just a type alias. Okay, so we can just look it up like a bracketed thing. So we should see metadata sub test key should be equal to test value. Okay, for all my fussing, this is not that hard to do. Okay. So create an event. It doesn't really have interaction with anything else it works on, so I'm not going to worry about creating extra events with it. In contrast to like the stuff we did yesterday with the dotted notes, this event showing up in the middle affects the previous and the following node. That's dependent across them, but this is not. Okay, so we have one event, metadata. We just make sure it gets into the metadata class, right? And it's going to fail because that class just, it's not there. I guess I can do it this way. It would crash instead of being nice, but it's supposed to be a non-optional type. Okay, we expect a value, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, now event departs. Well, this is the place, I guess. We've got, let's make sure this is a var. Okay, we got the metadata objects, and we're allowed to just write to it. Okay, but, oh, this is not. Tune builder. Where was that being done before? That was complicated. Let's find our capture string field. That's okay. He's got tunes builder. His put, well, no, it's really tune builder's put, yeah. Is tune builder what we're calling? Or what's calling us? It is. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to get through this and then deal with it. I thought this was going to be like whip out 3 things in one session here, but we're going to be lucky to finish one. All right, so Tune Builder has the put. Let's see, where is that? Okay, and put is really a complicated function of metadata. It's aware that if it's nil, it should do something and it should append in certain circumstances and all that stuff. Well, that's exactly the stuff we want to do in metadata. So I think this is the moment where marking my type alias is getting in my way. Now, I'm going to... I'm going to copy this for a moment, and then we'll eliminate duplication. So I'm trying to get to green. Let's get to green, and then we can deal with it. Events, departs, tests. Yeah. Okay, so some sloppy green, or just getting to green is a good step. We'd rather refactor while green, so let's do that. All right, so what I'm going to do in, where am I? Event departs. He's got the metadata, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep this down here. I guess I'll put it above here. It's gonna go away, but for now. All right, I've got 2 places it deal with metadata the same way. And notice all they're doing is dealing with either metadata or parameters. Okay. But I want to call this if we have metadata, well, we have a key and a value. I think I can say it here. Okay. We want to do put key value. Okay, so I believe that's going to make that pass. And just, okay, just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Metadata should be its own class with put there. Okay. All right. So, all right. So now I think event to parts is doing the right thing at this point. It's got the metadata. It updates it with this put, and then at the end, whatever we ended up with is the final metadata. All right. So I think that's a step forward. All right. So event to parts handles metadata events. Okay, I think that's true enough. Now it's refactor. Okay, so here's metadata.swift, metadata descriptor, but here's metadata. Okay, so this is making it a class that's going to mess up some things probably, but we'll do it. Public class metadata. Let's give it a value. Var data of string to string. That goes away. We'll give it an init. Well, I don't need an init. Okay. Now, I think people will ask to do things, and let's see what breaks. Compile breaks. Yeah, we need a subscript. Okay. And let's see what that is. Okay. Well, this one's easy to fix because it's just going to be an empty metadata. Empty metadata. Metadata of metadata. Okay. Init. Okay. Oh, I don't get a free public init. Okay. Sure I'm reading that right. Init is internal. Yeah. Okay. Should build. Okay, subscripts. I would have thought that complaint goes away. Oh, it did. Okay, good. Metadata has no subscripts. Okay. Let's do that. I guess this is almost exactly the declaration we need. And let's see these. Tune, he's doing metadata sub index. Well, this whole thing. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I need a timeout. All right. Well, it turns out my daughter's going to go have a baby, so I need to kind of wrap it up here. I hate to leave a bunch of syntax stuff messed up, but I think under the circumstances, I'll just do that. Okay. So if I do this, let's see what happens there. Then we'll have to do some wrap up stuff. Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, we're using it as a pure class, and here we're paying the price when we change it. Okay, so we'll do that. I guess I'll leave it there. I may end up with a little. I'm gonna have a weird weekend, I think. Okay. Thanks for joining today. I will catch you later, and next week we'll wrap this up and do the sorting stuff, and then I think move on to clustering and try and do some a little more statistical stuff and a little more mathematical stuff. So thanks for joining. Appreciate Mighty Coffee Mug conversation today, and Werner Archives. Yeah, you were there for a bit too, at least, if not there. And take care. Bye-bye. Oh, next time, 2 to 4:30 Eastern Daylight or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Bye-bye.